Hello everyone, I am back with part 2 of my thoughts on the coronavirus. Before we get into the thick of the statistics, I wanted to provide an update on the statistics from yesterday. As of March 20th of 2020, there are now 275,541 infected, 30,863 being within the last 24 hours. There have been a total of 11,385 deaths, 1,366 of those have been within the last 24 hours. I also wanted to correct a few things from my last video. I found the statistics that I had looked at previously. For media hits as of March 9th of 2020, tuberculosis sits at 2.9 million media hits, pneumonia had 5 million, malaria had 5.9 million, and Ebola had 11.1 million. MERS had 23.2 million, and HIV had 40 million. It was actually SARS that had the second most media mentions with the aforementioned 56 million hits, but that still has the coronavirus at 1.1 billion media hits, and that was 11 days ago, so I'm not sure exactly where that number sits at this time. Now on to today's topics. I brought up the fact that a lot of the deaths have been elderly and mostly in countries with not as good of healthcare systems. If you look at the deaths per country, you see Italy has the most deaths with 4,032. Italy at the time of this recording was regarded by the World Health Organization as being the second best healthcare based on spending, and yet they have the highest death count. This is most likely due to the average age of their population being 45 and a half. This puts them at the 5th highest average age. As I said in my last video though, the older someone is, the more susceptible they are to this virus. Now moving on to the next highest death count, we find China. They don't have a high average age in comparison to most other first world countries. They actually find themselves at a lower age than the United States. China is currently sitting at 37.4 and the US is sitting at 38.1. So why is China's death count so high in comparison if they have a lower average age? Well, I think there are a few reasons, but the two that make the most sense to me are, first, the virus started there. That means the virus was spreading before people really knew what was going on. Second, there are a lot of people in China. They are in closer proximity to each other than that of the US. China currently has 3,255 deaths out of their 81,008 cases. This puts them at the highest cases in any country by over 30,000 people. They are starting to get things under control though. In the last 24 hours have only gained 41 new cases. If we want to compare these stats to the US again, the US currently has 19,469 cases, with 5,680 cases being within the last 24 hours. Most of these new cases are appearing in major cities and high-density states in general. Once again, you have a large number of people in a very close proximity to each other. This is why New York currently has the largest number of cases at 8,398. The next highest is Washington with only 1,524, followed by California with 1,207. The rest of the states are not even reaching 1,000 as of now. Just to list the next few states in order, we have New Jersey, Illinois, Florida, Michigan, Louisiana, Georgia, and then Massachusetts being 10th. Now my state currently only has 78 people infected with no deaths. The reason for this most likely being this state's population is not very dense. The thing that is going to start making this disease a bigger problem is when people who don't necessarily need to be in the hospital take up beds. Now if you are having trouble breathing or are at all worried for your life, by all means go to the hospital. Please don't act tough and fight this on your own. However, don't go to the hospital if it's not needed, because if you are taking up beds for an elderly person that now can't stay at that hospital, they might die where younger people might not. I know it's hard to put a stranger's life above your own, but think logically. Our society thrives because we all work together. Everybody provides their service for the greater good. I work in technical support, and without me, your computer might not work, but without the customers, I don't have a job. Try to think about others when you are buying supplies as well. If you need toilet paper for a month, you most likely don't need 8 cases of toilet paper. The people behind you might not have as many options as you did. So this neatly brings me to why I wanted to make this video, as well as this channel. People start to panic when they don't fully understand the scope of what is going on. There is also the media telling everyone that they need to be prepared for the end of the world. The truth of the matter is, this disease is a pretty mild one in the grand scheme of things. Now, as I stated in the last video, this doesn't mean we can just ignore this disease, but it doesn't mean that we need to be buying every single roll of toilet paper or hand sanitizer that we can get our hands on. For those of you who panicked, it is very understandable. You can't always be too sure about what is happening or what to do. I would suggest that for the future, try to look into things for yourself and don't just trust the media. I personally haven't listened to the media for a long time. The main reason I don't is because they are only in it for the money. When people start to panic or when someone wants information, where do you think they will go? They go to the news networks they trust. This means when the network puts out their 5th article telling you why you need to be ready for the end of times, you click on that article that is basically clickbait. You are giving them money. Not directly, but through advertisements. This is what they want. I believe very few people in the mass media truly care about most people's safety. In the end, humans are not all saints. Some people just want money. They will play whatever system they can to get that money. This virus just happens to be the tool right now. But don't think they are done. That's all I have for this part. I think I will end up doing a 3rd part to this in the next couple of days. I want to once again see what people think and try to build a channel that people can come to when they aren't sure about what is going on. Once again, if you would like to hear more about this kind of stuff and more things, please stick around. I will be forever grateful. Thank you.